What's up guys, it's Talon here, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at how you can improve at the solo catch cup by analyzing top NAE pro Deyy and how he plays first overall. But before I get into this VOD for you guys, if you do enjoy my content or find what I'm telling you helpful, please drop a like on this video, hit that subscribe button, and turn on post notifications. Also, if you wish to support me in another way, use code Talon.fn in the Fortnite item shop, #ad. But without further ado, let's just jump right in. Alright guys, as you can see on the screen, we have Deyy's POV. He's going to be landing at Boney Burbs here. He's going to drop a near 20 bomb victory royale. No surprise, but we're going to also see Deyy excel in very stacked lobbies, which I'm looking forward to getting to later in this video. Let's just jump in. Things kind of just start off pretty shaky, I'm not going to lie. He gets very fortunate here. He isn't fighting a better opponent who just ends up killing him here with the shotgun versus AR.
Oh my god, almost dead.
Definitely should have lost that. And then here you're going to see him barely any materials fighting an opponent. He's even going to get third partied, but he's going to clutch up and hit a huge shot. 26 damage, crack shield, the pump not hitting so hard. He tries to bait with a med kit, and then he gets third partied here, no mats. That edit down now. Unfortunately, Tube does not end up getting this finish. Crack shield, so this is again a good recognition. This is such a great thing. If opponent never places a cone, you can, if you just jump in and accelerate, most people will just build and you get in. It's such a good tip to do. Using the chili chug splashes. Now here's a great example of not tunnel visioning. That cone off move right there, you're going to see him do that throughout. We see Reed do that a ton. No surprise, it just finishes fight so quickly. And then notice he doesn't tunnel vision. He pushes this opponent, he cracks him for like a good 50-ish damage. And then he creates a lot of space with his mats. The opponent just psychos in. Now Deyy is a hard zero ping player, so we're going to see him take walls pretty quickly. But even not really anything where I would say he's abusing his ping. Such good crosshair placement as well. Now the tap through, you see the single tap through to get in, but then after that, probably should have been a little bit more aggressive with spraying through. Now this is kind of an example of just confidence. Now this is piece control, but this edit is a 50-50, right? There's no protection. Look how wide open it is, and he nearly dies. The opponent hits a massive shot, but Deyy returns with a massive shot. That's just confidence in your aim. Probably better to make a safer edit in that situation. Sits up here on a right-hand peak. He notices the opponent's in the cone. He gets it, cones immediately. Kind of pre-fires where he thinks the opponent is going to be. He sits there and waits. 7 kills. Now this is a good, fantastic example of a pickaxe bait. Notice how he gets the opponent edited up to 127. Huge shot, so he just is going to jump in 50-50. But not a true 50-50 because he's at health advantage. And then you're going to see here this playing on display. He actually catches him also in the middle of a chug splash animation. Great job right there.
You know what they did after they came like 5th? They water viewed.
Good Metro Classic again. Deyy is excellent at AR pressure. You don't see him very rarely taking his pickaxe out to get walls. And you see, look, shotgun getting the front wall right there. Escape route into a right-hand peek. Those were one of the most impressive kills from the VOD. There's be two kills I really want to focus on with W King. But this particular one, the angle is fantastic, but you're going to see just a lot of techniques here that you can implement into your gameplay and use. Now you're going to see him one Metro Classic here on this opponent. Again, something you want to just, if you're at health advantage, just get in the box and end the fight. But I'm talking on this particular next engagement where you're going to see here. I'm just going to skip forward to him. So notice one, he's playing slowly, pickaxe baiting, creating a wall off. Now the opponent tries to make a play. Deyy, what he does right here, the wall is one tap, he shoots it through, then he cuts off an escape angle, realizes he has the wall, creates a nice peek, run here, it's right hand. Notice the opponent's running out, he has nowhere to go. The opponent only has this way to go. Deyy has already cut this off, but Deyy has now created a one right hand peek, and he had an escape route in case the opponent ran at him. He could reset that wall, and that's just what you see a lot of good players do. Noah Riley, a master of that as well. Always having an escape route. This is kind of one of the things of piece control is a lot of people will prioritize piece control and then just create a lot of 50-50s. Now here is a good example, covering off all angles. They are in 4th, it looks like. He just gets in 137. confidence in his aim. The opponent just not paying attention. Also in wood. Now he's using the chili chug splashes for movement. Again, one of the best things you can do in solos is use speed movements. And again, fantastic exploit. I believe he also did the Martaz ramp right there. I want to say that's his ramp as well. But there's two things on display here. One, it's AR pressure getting in, but then this is kind of a very low-paying exploit you can do. You see a lot of good players. You get the wall one tap, and then you just psycho in through. He sprays through. I want to see if that's his own ramp. I think yes. So I'm pretty certain Deyy did what's called a Martaz ramp, where you basically you place the own ramp, and it's one of the most scuffed positions. You can basically, the opponent almost has no play. It's almost an instantaneous 50-50, and if you're preparing for it, it's a fantastic way instead of just continually spraying through and placing down the cone 50-50 in a phase. I much prefer that when you're jumping into boxes. So implementing that in your gameplay, if they have a ramp over you in their box, just place your own ramp behind you, put them underneath, and hit your shots. You should really only be doing that when you're at health advantage or you really need a big impact. 113 sitting here on a right hand peak, cuts off the walls. It's a little bit weird part of the video where it just kind of skips, but 13 eliminations, 500-ish mats. Now this is a good recognition. Looking at win condition, right? He sees the opponent drop, and so he can just hop on a chili chug splash, which he's already on, and he can just grab height. The opponent actually ends up chopping him down. The opponent, I believe, ends up taking it with a little bit just scuffed mechanically. But now we don't have a ton of builds. 200, but we're going to get an important impact. And we're going to go down for it. We get what we can. We get a decent amount out of it. Hits for 40 right here. The opponent runs away, but we don't force anything. We can just get ahead. Now he goes up a layer to get on a nice, clean, fresh layer. A lot of players would have probably just continued down, but this allows them to operate in space, and then anyone that goes up basically can get suffocated. But him getting on that clear, fresh layer allows him to basically just navigate this terrain. Now he has no builds, which you heard the sound, I don't think he realized it, and ends up him getting fried, and then he drops down to low. He's going to make some really nice shots right here. It's a nice little impact. And again, the chug flash being so huge to his success. No mats again here. Opponent runs down, gets an elimination. And then chug splash is a good way for him to survive super long. See the zone wars on display, and he gets high ground. But he doesn't have the mats really to hold it. And he gets a nice elimination right there. Does a good job of recognizing there's chug splashes behind him. But unfortunately, no more mats. So there's not much you can do. He's going to say he sold. I don't really think there's much you could do in this situation. Sorry, guys. There was an ad. Let's continue. As I said before, he's going to say that he thinks he sold. But I truly don't think there's much he could have done in that situation with zero materials, with the opponent on high ground. Coming from underneath, I'll always talk about it. One of the best things you could do. Now, unfortunately, this is kind of a little bit scuffed because stack lobby, so the server isn't that great. Catches the opponent perfectly. He sprays through with the AR. The opponent actually lets him take a mini before he 50-50s and gets the finish. Does a great job right there. One, the piece control on display, but I just want to talk about he managed the pressure so well from the other side of the third party. I would have probably, the only thing you could probably say that would be a little bit better is if he'd done it in hard mats. So like as I said again here before, just finishes off that 50-50, but this opponent is kind of rotating out from a car or whatever. Yeah, rotating out of a car. And he's kind of creeping, hoping to get an opportunity. He gets the front wall for a little bit of 70 damage, but notice he's then going to crack shield, but he blocks himself off from the third party. Now if he maybe done that hard mats, it would have been better. But now he does a great job of recognizing the opponent didn't reset behind him, and so he makes sure to get the walls, and he cone slides him. Gets a free pick impact. Look, he goes from basically 3-1-0 to almost max cap mats, and he's got floppers for later on. So a huge important impact in the mid game, which is going to allow him to succeed in this particular match. A little bit, you see that opponent's shield get cracked, so The opponent's probably shambles. He tries to place a ramp to protect himself. He was shambles, didn't have anything. And then the piece control right here from Deyy, on point. I'm going to talk about full piece, understanding, getting the cutoff, recognizing where the opponents go, recognition, all of it. He gets an impact, but it's not really that good. The opponent shambles. I mean, Deyy shambles himself. No mats. He pretty much gets siphoned a little bit of extra wood. But then right here, getting this front wall, the importance of getting this right here, because this immediately traps his opponent, gets another elimination. He goes down, gets what little of his refresh. He gets basically to 5-4. So 2 huge important impacts just from one, recognizing where that opponent is and recognizing that's a free opportunity. Now he's sitting at 370. He's got floppers. So I think this is going to allow him to play a little bit just kind of reserved. And what do I mean by reserved? He's really going to let things develop because he knows he can tank back with his floppers. And what he does is he actually switches to other side of zone. And then he recognizes on dead side. Notice how he goes from being there. He flips, if you look at the top right, and then flips over to this side of the zone. Now things get a little bit sketchy. But look at it. Nice and free. Now he's going to maybe go for it. Realizes it's not worth. He has the mats. He gets to a nice fresh lair. This is so good right here. This is such awareness. And then good crosshair placement. He recognizes that opponent's on his one wall. And so he just simply recognizes pretty early on that opponent is just on the one wall. So how do you break him down? You wouldn't expect this play, right? If you're this person. He's probably weak from healing. As you can see, he just took a shield. And then good crosshair placement. And then another impact for Deyy. And he's going to get chug splashes out of that, where he probably dropped big pop for. Oh, he only got one. And he says opponent taking a big shield out in the open. And look at it, he's capped mats. Just from those 2 impacts right there. And so this is almost a guaranteed victory royale. So immediately cranks for height. Fantastic piece control. Pre-boxes, finishes, all of it. Just one textbook recognition, win condition. I have max mats. Probably we're in night zone. The person on height has to have less than mats than me. Probably hasn't been fragging like I have. Nowhere near. I just got another impact. The opponent is single tarping. You see him place the cone there, which traps the opponent on the same layer. He goes for the high wall, doesn't get it. But what he does here, he cracks, resets, and then he just predicts the opponent only has one way to go. He places the cone, cracks, then makes sure that he stays. Finishes. Fantastic job of easy height take. He's again nearly capped mats. There's almost a 0% chance of him losing this game, barring some miracle launchpad play where he just gets cracked or if he gets focused. And simply one just recognizing win condition again. You see him looking for opportunities for height. Doing a good job of making sure he uses his mats. I believe he's going to recognize someone that's going to try and push him. I can't remember if this game or not, but yeah, someone comes in and tries to push him from Storm. He cuts him off. And he just does a good job of cutting him off, and the opponent actually just dies to Storm trying to make the play. Now, something I thought was super interesting here is he was switching to wood right there on his way down, probably because it was just wasted builds. That's like such a minor thing. Like, he wasn't looking to be stable on his builds. He was just wasting them as he comes down. Now, he has 2 floppers. So, again, he's thinking heal-off potential. He's probably got a good chance of winning. He's cutting off all angles. And this is something that I always see textbook. If you're in a 1v1v1 and you're on height, you always want mid and low to fight, and you come clean up. This is what I see 99% of the time. I think there's only one time, and I can't remember who it was, where someone dropped on this particular play. I believe it was Dubs. Don't quote me on that. But then lets them fight, gets the finish, gets a good 100 crack, and then no fear of tanking Storm right here to get an angle, because one, we have floppers, and we just crack shield. So a great game here from Deyy.
I'm literally insane.
We're going to game number 4, sitting here at Pleasant Park. Catching an opponent off guard here is one of the worst areas to fight. It's super awkward. Never like fighting in those small little isolated buildings. 180 mats, so when you're going to need it. Impact here, Surge, so very good lobby as well. We're sitting on backside. We just get in here. Not much to sit. That's just hitting your shots. Like, he basically just turns on him. Like in the old Call of Duty days. Just turned on. Look at this. Right on the head. Then finishes up with the AR. There ain't nothing to say to that other than holy. Fantastic recognition of this play too. Look, it has nothing, right? Like 13 builds. This is maybe going to stretch him to top 20.
I love those plays from you, Deyy.
And that's exactly what it does. It stretches him to top 20. You're not thinking you're going to do a significant amount here. Oh, this is so intelligent too. I've seen the last time that I've seen this VOD review, he will get ahead and get these important impacts by doing this little cone sneak, and it's really hard to prepare for this when you're trying to go in moving zones. Does this fantastic in one pumps. And he gets a refresh of minis. Now, unfortunately, he's going to end up actually here getting caught.
Oh!
Probably the only thing he could have done there, instead of just opening up like that, what he could have probably maybe done is throw a ramp up and try to get over. I don't think that would have worked. I think the opponent just really had there's very limited things he could have done with that play. Maybe less panic and try to go to the left. I'm not sure. I don't think he even owned that front wall. Maybe gone down a couple things. And we see the zone war on display and fantastic use of that cone off. And I just want to talk about one, we see a couple of advanced techniques that just angles on display right here. One, we see the nice little zone wars keeping your momentum. See him die here. And then we're going to just get into just one way to get height, get your momentum. For those of you who don't play zone wars or don't really keep up on it, this is a good way to do that. You jump to the side and jump forward, but he gets that cone off. Goes for it, 96. He's fighting a lever, so probably extremely confident in terms of damage. Now this is something I want to talk about. He sprays through, again, very rarely takes any wall with his pickaxe. This is something he constantly does. He just does it with his AR constantly. Yes, he's a hard zero. Now, this is a great thing to do. When an opponent is using that Chug Splash, there's a kind of slow animation, and this is going to allow him to get it. And when he replaces it in the same wood, and he jumps off to the side, just in case, for protection that he doesn't get it. Now, the opponent doesn't even realize because it's wood, finish, and that's a quick impact free. And you also, when you have a pump, it doesn't matter. You should be confident fighting against the lever. Lever is so inconsistent with damage. Now, it doesn't get that big off here. You just want to make sure you hold on to your bigs. Just not what I mean by hold on. Make sure that you really do get it. This is fantastic. Such confidence right here. And again, we see that cone play coming into it. There we go, a rare pickaxe attempt. And a good crosshair placement. Opponent falls down and just kind of predicts that where that's going to be. And look, he's got three. He said,
I'm at 116.
He goes, I got 3 pads. All you do is play endgame. And I thought this was hilarious. Sorry guys, there was an ad. Let's continue. And as I said, he just needs to play endgame and play safe, but that's not who Deyy is. He's just going to get that free point right there. Even didn't need to go for that elimination. I probably wouldn't recommend it if you're just not super gifted mechanically. Fantastic cone. Kills new member, KNG Squish. New member for KNG. Just won the Console Champions Cup, I believe, actually. Recognizing that there's a meter, like, you see a lot of good players do this, but he ends up, if you recognize right here, it's already set up for you. One, we see the beautiful piece control of the cone, catching the opponent off guard, but what I'm going to say here is you can do this a lot in endgame. If you recognize it, it's really good. He just, unfortunately, opponent edged through. This is already set up for you. All you need to do is place the floor. And then you see the opponent just unprepared for it. But he doesn't cycle in. He has 200 mats. He wants to get his shield off maybe first. He gets in. Tries to take his big. He ends up actually getting the kill anyways. Not a lot of mats. So we're going to see him drop down. Cover his head as he does. There's not going to be a lot he can really do here. Just probably try and get an impact if you can. 59. Oh, the patience here is great. You see the opponent's crack shield. And then he just waits. He waits for that fight to develop so he can basically extend it as long as he can. Now we're looking a whole lot better. We can get our shield off. We don't have any materials. We fortunately just a little bit falls from the sky. 70 cracked right there. He gets eliminated, but it's kind of like a refresh because he got the mats anyways. Waiting slowly. 70 cracked. Nice right hand peek peanut butter. A kill onto Rift Mole. He's going to kill him again later, actually. Now 1v1 or 1v1v1. Not much he can do here. He has no mats, so he can't hold off height. He has like 7 builds.
10 builds still.
But gets a huge 52 crack and then just continues. Now, unfortunately, the mountain just basically prevents him from winning. There's just not much he can do here. But another second place. Definitely take that 8 eliminations.
I sold. I'm gonna cry.
Again, I wouldn't say he sold in that situation either. And look, we even see some good surge management. This is one of the better kills right here. One, we see, read through this, we see a lot of great controller players. This is kind of like a Click's blueprint edit. But one, you make a nice wide edit from 1 box away. Again, why is that important? Escape route, and this is so hard to counter. This is why pre-edits are absolutely broken in trios. This exact, you know how many times you see this in trios with full trios running through, just placing these 6-tile edited walls. And you see right here again, use of cone peeking to get refreshes. This is an important thing. And this is right. He misses the shot, but he gets a kill on a Teo. And this is right at the start of moving, so this is going to be perfect gainer. Notice he doesn't do it here, though. He's got peppers and pads. Cracks for 90, just gets a nice free elimination. And then Shadow Flopper, which you can see Deyy is probably not that comfortable with it. Cones him off right here. And he's got cat mats again. Same thing, right, from before. Instant cat mat refresh, instant high ground take. Not a surprise. So I'm going to drop on down here. Reconnects. And this is pretty much at this point his game to lose. Now, opponent does try and take height. Actually succeeds, so Deyy kind of gives it up for a while.
You can take it later, you have a pad.
And you can hear whoever's in the call with him, you can take it later, you have a pad. And because of his high mats, the opponent jumps down and reconnects to him, and he does a great job of recognizing that as well, that the opponent connects to him. Again, wall cone off. Now the opponent has nowhere to go, and he just instantly takes it back. And again, it's due to those refreshes, giving those amount of mats to him to be able to burn some, to retake height. See, a lot of people in the situation will shambles and have to drop all the way down low. And it's just, this is a great example right here of non-stop pressure. Now, looking up to the sky to look for shadow floppers, just announced a couple days ago, no longer in the game, so no longer a concern. But again, this is just also understanding meta as well. Understand what you're playing. You know that that's something that can ruin your game in this particular time. There's all sorts of things, right, you have to prepare for. Before launch pads, you know, you would have to worry about team shockwing, all that stuff. It's just understanding meta. And this is a good example right here of just pressuring. Anybody you see, pressure, pressure, pressure. Gets another kill on a Rift Mall. I said he was going to kill him later. And then you see the Shadow Flop play. You want to get rid of him because he can just cycle up here. Now, if someone's looking for height, I thought it was interesting here how he used wood instead of metal. I think he wants to save his metal for later on. Piece controls. Now he jumps down, realizes it's not worth, and he just gets back up. You're going to hear the person say not worth. Spraying through, crack and shield. Gets a nice little elimination. Doesn't really get the mats from it. Gonna get up and decide to take the peppers for a little bit of health. Kind of same thing as before. We're gonna stay up here on high ground. Let those two guys fight. And then, fortunately for Deyy, the guy is taking a flopper. And that's just patience. And it's those important end game / mid game pickups that are extending his game. We saw it again, that cone peak, get that refresh right at beginning of moving zones, and then we get another impact in mid, and we immediately go for height. Then we're not afraid to give it up. We don't want to burn too many mats. We realize that we have peppers, we can take it back anytime, and then realize the opponent weakly connected to our builds, and then down, retake it, and then just enjoy your high ground, pressure the rest of the lobby. A textbook ending. We saw some very good W keying things as well, but we saw the intelligence too with the rotate going from this congested right side to left side, pushing all the way. Just overall, a very consistent and impressive performance for Deyy. He's had an incredible season overall in trios and in solos. That is going to do it for today's VOD review, guys. I hope that you did enjoy. If you did, please drop a like on this video, hit that subscribe button, and turn on post notifications. And I hope I'll be seeing you in the next one. Peace.